Hi, let's start the new topic, sequences. In SQL, sequences are database object designed to generate the sequential series of unique numbers. Just imagine that you are developing an invoicing app. You need to generate the invoices in a sequence, that is INV001, INV002, INV003. If you want to do sequencing in this way, so this topic, sequences, will help you. Before moving ahead, I would like to clear one thing. MySQL does not support sequences natively. There is no support to the sequences in MySQL natively. But we can implement some hack ways and we can implement sequences in the MySQL. Well, what is the official way? MySQL says that use auto-increment. If you remember, while creating the primary keys, we have attached this auto-increment. So MySQL automatically assigns unique value to that column. So generally, we attach auto-increment to the primary key, right? And whenever you insert the new row, the value would be incremented automatically. That's how MySQL handles this scenario. But MySQL doesn't support sequences internally, right? So if you can see here, by defining the column auto increment, MySQL automatically assigns unique value to that column for each row inserted in the table. Okay. Now next question, what is the sequences exactly? Now see, sequences are the database objects. So we have discussed how MySQL handles by attaching the auto increment. Okay, so let's try to write the code for a normal thing in the MySQL, what MySQL supports. Okay, so first, as usual, go to the notebook. Let's drop the DB first. I'm dropping the DB. Let's create the database first, YTDB. Use the DB. Okay. And then here we can say create table, SEQ test, SEQ, just a minute, SEQ test, SEQ test. Now this is what the table we would be using. If you see ID, data type is int, it's a not null, key constraint, and auto increment. What do we mean by this? Whenever you insert the new row, automatically value to this thing would be added. Let us see this works or not. Let's try to insert the data. Let's try to insert the data and see this works or not. Insert into table. Well, I have few inserts written over here. Okay, let's copy this. I'll try to show you first. Inserted, SEQ test, primary key is ID, this ID, not null, auto increment, and select star from SEQ underscore test. SEQ underscore, can you see ID? ID has been generated automatically. While inserting the data, you didn't provide ID over here. While inserting data into SEQ test, you didn't provide ID, but still it is working, right? Why? Because MySQL internally uses this auto increment as a sequence. Again, I am repeating, officially MySQL doesn't support the sequences, whatever I am going to show in later part of this video. Now, what MySQL supports? You can say auto increment. So let's copy this, and here I will paste. See, last inserted ID. If you want to get the last inserted ID, this one, MySQL gives you by means of one call, last inserted ID is 1. So this is the feature, official version of the MySQL, how MySQL handles sequences with the help of auto increment, right? This is how. So if you want to cross verify, you can cross verify by means of last inserted ID, the ID which has been created by auto increment, right? That number it will return as a last inserted ID. Now whatever I am going to show you here after this in the video, that is not supported by the MySQL natively. Well, I am using a flavor of MySQL, that is nothing but I'm using one flavor of MySQL, that is nothing but MariaDB. MariaDB supports the sequences, right? So write it in the comment box. What is the relationship of MariaDB with the MySQL, or what are the differences of MariaDB and the MySQL? Well, I don't want to cover that thing over here. I just want to focus on the sequences. Now see, create sequence. So this thing is supported by ANSI SQL. ANSI SQL. Can you see, create sequence, SEQ test ID. This name can be absolutely anything, no problem. Starts with 1. The sequence starts with 1 and incremented by 3. You can write 30, 40, 50, whatever. Create the sequence, SEQ test ID starts with 1, increment by 3. So here I will create the sequence. This thing will create the sequence. Now at the time of inserting, I will get the next value. Insert into SEQ text name. Here you can say, and here I can say ID and the name. ID and the name. And here there is one thing called as next value for sequence test ID. Next value for sequence test ID. Now insert it, and there is a duplicate record for 1. That's why we got an error. Now see, I will insert 4-5 times, and can you see insert ID is getting incremented over here. And now if I run the select star from SEQ underscore test table and run it, can you see 1 was there, 3 has been added, 4, after 4 3 has been added, 7, after 7 3 has been added, 10, 13, 16, right? Sequence. This thing is called as sequence in the MySQL, in the SQL. Sequences are supported by or suggested by ANSI SQL standard, and all other databases like PostgreSQL, Oracle, DB2, they support the sequences. MySQL handles the sequence scenario by something called as auto increment, right? Auto increment. MySQL doesn't support these things natively, but you should know these things. That's why I have covered over here. As a part of SQL, generally we learn the sequences. Very important topic. If you want to create the custom numbers. Okay. So this is about what sequences. I have written everything in the notes. You may go through the notes and check. Okay. That's all about sequences. I hope you have understood. If you have understood, let me know in the comment box. Also, if you have any queries, questions, write it in the comment box. Thank you. See you in the next video.